Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and the Squirrel, Epic Chase Showdown. It was a sunny afternoon in the park, and the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel named Max couldn't contain his excitement. His long, floppy ears wagging in the air, Max had spotted a squirrel scampering across the grass. With a burst of energy, he took off like a rocket, his tiny paws barely touching the ground. The chase was on. Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, with their friendly and affectionate nature, are known for their love of adventure and playfulness. Max was no exception. He loved exploring the great outdoors, and today, he had found the perfect playmate. The squirrel, however, had other plans in mind. As Max raced after the squirrel, he couldn't help but notice how agile and quick the little creature was. The squirrel effortlessly dodged and weaved through the trees, always staying one step ahead of Max. It was as if they were engaged in an epic chase showdown, determined to outsmart each other. The park was buzzing with excitement as onlookers watched the incredible chase unfold. Children giggled in delight, while adults marveled at the extraordinary agility of both the dog and the squirrel. It was a scene straight out of a nature documentary, and nobody wanted to miss a second of it. Max's determination was unwavering. He bounded over fallen branches and leaped through tall grass, never allowing himself to lose sight of his target. He knew that catching the squirrel would be no easy feat, but he was determined to try. His owner, Sarah, watched with a mix of amusement and pride. She knew that her beloved pup was putting all his energy into the chase. Just when it seemed like Max was closing in on the squirrel, the little creature pulled off a daring move. It climbed a tree and leaped onto a nearby branch, just out of reach of Max's eager paws. Max let out a frustrated bark, but he wasn't ready to give up just yet. He started barking at the squirrel, hoping to intimidate it into coming back down. The squirrel, however, was not so easily intimidated. It responded to Max's barks with a series of chirps and chatters, seemingly taunting him from its perch high in the tree. Max could almost imagine the squirrel sticking its tongue out at him, mocking his failed attempts to catch it. This only fueled Max's determination further. For what seemed like hours, Max and the squirrel continued their chase through the park. Onlookers were now rooting for both the dog and the squirrel, divided between who they wanted to see as the victor. The chase had become a spectator sport, with bets being made on which furry creature would come out on top. Just as Max was beginning to tire, luck seemed to finally be on his side. The squirrel made a split-second mistake, hesitating for just a moment on a low branch. Max seized the opportunity and lunged forward, desperately trying to capture the elusive creature. His paws brushed against the squirrel's tail, but it was enough. The squirrel, realizing it had been outwitted, leaped from the tree and scurried away. Max stood triumphantly, his chest heaving with exhaustion. He may not have caught the squirrel, but he had come closer than anyone had expected. The onlookers erupted into applause, congratulating both the dog and the squirrel for putting on such an incredible show. As Max returned to his owner, his tail wagging happily, Sarah couldn't help but be proud of her little adventurer. It wasn't about catching the squirrel, it was about the joy of the chase, the thrill of the hunt. Max had embodied the spirit of a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, determined and full of life. And so, the park returned to its normal rhythm, with children playing, families picnicking, and dogs chasing balls. But for those who had witnessed the epic chase showdown between Max and the squirrel, it would forever be etched in their memories. It was a tale of determination, agility, and the eternal connection between humans, dogs, and the incredible creatures we share our world with. In the end, it didn't matter who won the chase. What mattered was the bond that had been forged between Max and the squirrel, united in their pursuit of adventure. And perhaps, one day, they would meet again, ready to embark on another epic chase showdown.